It's time for Real Talk with Brian and Dan, the weekly talk radio show dedicated to discussing important real estate topics, plus insight into the local community. With a combined experience of over 50 years as local real estate brokers from the Eastside Real Estate team at Keller Williams Realty Bellevue. Here's your hosts, Brian Levitt and Dan Edwards.
Well, good snowy afternoon. Welcome to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. It is Wednesday, January 15th, 2020. We are glad you are joining us today. You're probably huddled up in it with a nice warm blanket, maybe sipping some hot tea or cocoa or maybe a little bit of whiskey. I don't know. I mean, whatever you want. A hot toddy. Well, in addition to catching us live on the radio, you can also watch us live streaming on YouTube. So check us out on the 1150 KKNW YouTube channel. And if you're looking to listen to any past episodes, you can listen to our past episodes anywhere podcasts are found, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and additionally, you can find them cataloged on our website, theeastsiderealestateteam.com. All right, we've got another fantastic show today. I'm excited to talk real estate as always, and we have some fantastic guests with us. Today we have Christine Archer with Christine Archer Interiors and David Jensen with Premier Mortgage Resources. But before we get to our guests today, it's always time for some Real Talk. Today's Real Talk segment is going to be awesome for those of you out there that are thinking about, what is it, listed or remodel it? Isn't there a show?
Remodel. Oh, yeah.
Remodel.
What is it? Love it or list it?
Yeah, love it or list it. Yeah, so this is an opportunity, Brian and I. Tell me more.
Well, and we have a perfect guest today. Christine can add on or correct us whatever we're talking about here.
Yep.
So one of the common questions that Dan and I get is should we move or remodel? And there's a number of things that we need to take into consideration when consulting with a client on this. The first question I always ask is, do you like your neighborhood?
And your neighbors.
And your neighbors. Because if it's a no, well, we can't fix that with a remodel. So that's a clear, if it's a no, it's a go.
Right.
But then the question, if they say they love the neighborhood, then how do we make the house something they love? So one of the things we look at is the financial considerations.
Right.
A remodel is usually pretty expensive, but then again, so is a move. The cost of selling and buying can go a long way towards the remodel cost.
Yeah, and I think, Brian, the idea there is financially, when you're done with this remodel, because it will go over budget. Everything ever always does.
Yeah.
Whatever the budget set, it's always going to go over. When you're done with it, do you love where you're living? And, I have a real life story of this. My wife and I have spent 17 years in our house. And, we're just raising a family, going about our business. And when we moved in there, we were like, oh, we got to remodel this kitchen. It's horrible. It just doesn't work. Turns out we were able to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner for many, many, many years in that kitchen, right? And then we finally got to the remodel part. And I got to tell you, it feels like a brand new house.
Yeah.
It's pretty fantastic. So one other consideration is adding square footage, right? So one of the things, a remodel, it may or may not be feasible, depending on if you have a homeowners association, right? Whether or not the jurisdiction you're in will allow for it. It's not a good idea to own the most valuable home in the neighborhood. Sometimes that if you build something that is gigantic, it just kind of prices it out against its competition.
Overbuilding for the neighborhood.
So generally the cost of new construction is actually less than the cost of an addition. What's the exception to that rule, Brian?
The exception to the rule in terms of
building the biggest, baddest, best house.
Well, if you love it, I mean, if you're doing it for yourself, that's great. It's resale that becomes a problem. In a perfect real estate world, you want to own the least expensive home in the nicest neighborhood because that skews your value up. Well, the reverse is true. If you own the biggest, best home in a neighborhood that's lesser quality or desirable homes, it can skew your value down. So it's not it's an economic decision, not a personal decision. Because if you love the home and you can get the permits, go for it.
I've always heard too, it's always better to build up than out.
It's typically
more economical,
less money, right?
Because you don't have to redo foundation.
Correct.
You don't have to add more roof.
Yep.
It's the same roof.
I had a client that did exactly that, and it's perfect. They love it. They had a Rambler that they added a second story to, and it's fabulous. But they like the neighborhood. The neighborhood supports the value. Everything works. So
what do you recommend people do?
Well, one of the services that Dan and I offer is a free consultation to discuss the move or remodel. And often what we do is we'll do two market analysis. We'll do a market analysis to determine the present value. We'll do a second market analysis to determine the finished value. Now, this can also play into obtaining financing, because often people will need to pull equity out of their home, and there's even loan products out there that are specifically designed for renovation and remodel. That's right.
Yeah, construction loans, right?
Yeah, there's renovation loans, and then you could actually do a construction loan, but we also want to take into account the permanent financing, the long-term financing.
Right. Because when it's done, somebody's going to turn around and buy it, and so they have to justify the value when it's
the lender wants to protect their interests, so they want to know what values are. And this can also be a way of determining if it is an overbuild for the neighborhood.
Right.
But no, I think we're in a market right now that's pretty insulated from that because of supply and demand.
And it can be a great opportunity to turn the home into the dream home you wanted. Save money, save time. Moving can be a hassle, right?
Right.
And for King County, the home sales market activity basically is right now, it's showing signs of a hotter than normal winter. I mean,
winter market.
Yeah, it's a hot winter market.
Yeah.
Winter's coming. Global warming. That's what it is.
So right now, rates as low as they are, and knowing it's likely going to stay, it's a fabulous time to consider getting your dream home, even if it's right where you are now. Dan, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think the overall takeaway is it's not a simple answer, and I think every and Christine will speak to this later too. But couples go through some therapy when it comes time to doing this remodel, and it's like, hopefully you have a nice strong marriage, because you've got to make decisions and mistakes happen. I mean, maybe you ordered a sink that was too small for the space.
Really? Can that happen?
Yeah, that can happen. Luckily, I saved the day on that one too. But is it worth the hassle? And they're building some really nice stuff right now. And when you look at one of the things that you could do is just go out looking at new construction homes as a couple and determine, hey, do we like this? Do we like that? Should we do that in our house? Take a picture of it.
Right.
That's a good place to get ideas.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway.
That's your takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting you'd say that, because my wife and I recently saw a new construction home that has a kitchen that would be perfect for us. And we're looking at doing a remodel. So timely guest to have here today for that discussion.
Yeah.
But no, we were able to get some really great ideas by actually, seeing, just walking through it, so that's a great idea to look that way.
I feel like our theme today is Should I Stay or Should I Go? We should have that song. Should I go now?
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, that concludes our Real Talk for today. And if you're interested in this topic and other topic segments, just go to the eastsiderealestateteam.com/blog. And if you'd like to talk to us directly about your real estate questions, stay, go, upgrade, remodel, just give us a call at 425-200-4093. Thanks for listening. Next up, we'll be speaking with our lender for our Mortgage Moments segment. Stay tuned. After this commercial break, you will hear from the mortgage market from Aram, our experienced loan officer with Movement Mortgage. Come on back after this break.